It's day 9 of the Walk Off the Weight series, and today I've got a great heart-healthy endurance walk for us with no equipment needed. So let's go. All right, killer bees, let's go ahead and get moving and grooving. That means that we're going to start in with some arm circles and high knees. And oh my gosh, I can totally tell that this is really the first time I've been moving today. It is not early morning for me, but I've been sitting at my desk and oh my goodness, this is why we start our workouts like this, with some nice mobility warm-ups so that we can get ready for it. You guys, welcome to the workout, by the way. I'm Paula B. I'm your best middle-aged fitness friend. And around here, oh my gosh, in the month of January, we are walking off the weight. I am so excited, particularly about today's workout, even though I think I say that every day. I love all of the workouts that I create for you. Just so you know, I don't think I have ever made a workout that I don't love, which is why I share them with you so that you can enjoy your workouts and maybe not have fantastic balance. You guys, today we are working on heart health, which means that we are working on endurance. And my friends, in case you are relatively new around here, I will tell you that endurance is my jam. Let's go ahead and do some arm crossers with booty kickers. This feels so good. Oh my gosh. I had no idea how stiff my muscles really were today. And I will tell you that today is actually a really good workout for stiff muscles because we are working on endurance. What that means, let me just tell you. I've got my handy dandy gym boss here, set for intervals of 30 seconds, and none of those is rest. We are working on a sustained level of energy today. That is what endurance is all about. It's about being able to do something, like a little bit of something, for a long amount of time. Now, today's not going to be an especially long workout. None of them are. They're not supposed to be. That's not what we're doing around here. We're working on moderation so that we can lose weight. But the type of work that we're doing today is all about endurance. It's all about maintaining a pace that you can go for the entire duration of the workout. Let's go ahead and do some welcome to my homes. And what that might mean, my friends, is that we might not go very fast. That's the thing about endurance, that we're not supposed to be trying to go at our top speed. You can't sustain top speed for a very long time. And that right there, just so you know, is a little bit of foreshadowing for the conversation that we're going to have today about how endurance and the physical aspect of endurance, as well as the mental aspect of endurance, is so relatable to the act of losing weight. Now, here's the thing. I already mentioned we're doing 30-second intervals, but I will also mention that there's basically no repeat today, too, which is sort of fun. We do come back around to walking every couple of intervals just so that we can really maintain our heart rate and kind of get ourselves going. And in fact, let's go ahead and get going with walking right now anyways. In fact, speaking of that, we're just going to start with a nice walking, marching pace. Now, if you'd like to, you can pick this up a little bit higher, but I'm keeping it all mellow. When it beeps, we're going to do reach across, which means that we're reaching across with one hand and we're tapping out with that same foot in the opposite direction though, because we're reaching across. I've got lots of lateral movements for us today, like a reach across, because it's so good when we're doing a healthy, heart-healthy walk like this. It's really good to be moving in different planes of motion. So we're just reaching across our body, tapping that foot out. When it beeps again, we're going to do something I call double knees, which means that we're going to have our hands up over our head. We're going to reach our hands down towards one high knee at a time, 2 times on one side and then 2 times on the other side, which is why I call it double knees. You guys, I tell you what, I've got some silly names for some of the exercises, and we're going to notice lots of them today. So here we go with hands up, 2 times on one side and then 2 times on the other side. And when it beeps again, we're going to come back to our walking. Now, here's the thing about endurance. You've already noticed that I'm not going super fast. Let me rephrase that. I'm not going super fast for me. This might feel fast for you. I want you to be thinking about what kind of a pace you can manage for this entire workout. It might actually be significantly slower than me. It might be a little bit faster than me. It might be exactly what I'm doing. Here we go, right back to that walking. Whatever pace it is, we're kind of focusing on maintaining that. which is why we did not come out of the gate going crazy with a super fast pace, because there's no way that I could maintain that, nor, frankly, do I want to. When it beeps again, we're doing some big arm side shuffles, so let me scoot a little bit over to the side here. We're going to be shuffling to the side, making some big arms, nice big, like arm circles, but in front of us rather than forward and backwards. So nice big arms from side to side with that little bit of a shuffle. Now you are absolutely welcome. I do get a little bit of a hop here when I'm doing big arm side shuffles. You do not have to do that. You can absolutely keep your feet lower to the ground. We are always low impact around here. We do not have any transitions to the ground. Try and keep these workouts as simple as possible. Now the next exercise, though, I will tell you, it's complicated for me. We're doing the Charleston, which is a stepping forward and stepping back. So we're stepping forward and kicking, stepping back and kicking back. Now here's the thing about the Charleston that I really did think about a lot. It absolutely has a leader foot and a non-leader foot, and I cannot, no matter how many times I have practiced, make myself do this the other way. So this is basically the one and only exercise you will ever see on my channel that has a leader foot that I don't do on both sides. We're coming right back to walking. And I am breathing a nice sigh of relief that I don't have to do the Charleston again today. When it beeps again, we're going to do windmill tap backs. You guys, my thinking about endurance. I have lots of thoughts about endurance. Endurance is totally my jam. Like it's the kind of athlete that I am. I consider myself an endurance athlete. When I came to exercise about 15 years ago, I came to it, here we go with windmill tap backs. I came to it through running. I discovered at the ripe old age of 37 that not only could I run, which was literally the first time I had ever done such a thing in my life, but that I actually liked it. It was crazy to me. And when it beeps again, we're doing can-cans, by the way. It's a knee and a kick. But when I discovered that I liked running, I discovered that what I really liked was running long. I have, over the course of my running career in the last 15 years, so here we go with can-cans, knee and kick, and knee and kick. I have run some rather extraordinarily long distances. I still enjoy running, but do not enjoy quite as long running as I used to. I have run several ultra marathons, meaning more than 26.2 miles. When it beeps again, by the way, we're going to do walking again. But I loved the idea, and it sounds so funny, of slowing down so that I could go longer and farther. Here we come back to walking. I like speed, I like power moves, but my body, my brain, everything about me really likes this kind of thing, really likes just going at a pace that I can sustain forever. When it beeps again, we're going to be doing V reaches. So we're going to have our feet a little bit wider than hip width apart. It's basically a squat and reach up, but we're going to reach from side to side. So we're reaching on one side one way and then reaching the other side the other way. So reaching up, squatting down, reaching up, squatting down. Now here's the thing, you do not need to squat very low, and if you don't want to squat, don't squat. Totally fine. This is much more about moving your hands. When your hands go above your head, your heart rate comes up too. When it beeps again, we're going to be doing twisting high knees. Oh, bye Blossom. Thanks for hanging around with us for a little while. Thanks for enduring what you endured. But I love the aspect of endurance. So here we go with twisting high knees. Oops, that was a kick. Twisting high knees means that we're only bringing up a high knee and not actually kicking forward. So we're twisting into that high knee that's coming up. I love the mental toughness aspect of doing endurance work. And it's something that I think about a lot when we're doing endurance type work here on the channel. It takes a special kind of mindset. And here we go back to walking. It takes a special kind of mindset to want to not take breaks, to continue for the entire workout, even if it's at a pace that feels manageable, even if your heart isn't going crazy. It takes a different kind of mindset to keep going. When it beeps again, we're doing punch down tap outs, which is exactly what it sounds like. We're gonna punch down and we're gonna tap out on that same side. But that kind of mental work, here we go with punch down tap outs. That kind of mental work I find to be immensely translatable to your daily life. The fact is, no matter what you do all day long, you are with yourself. You are in your own mind, doing your own thing all day, every day, for your entire life. That kind of endurance of being in your own brain takes some work, won't it, peeps? We're doing pretzel jacks. Our hands are doing jumping jacks. Our foot is twisting only inside. My bees, who have been around for a while, know that there is a version of jacks where we go twist your foot in and twist your foot out. This is the simpler, kinder, gentler version where we are simply twisting our foot in while our hands are doing jumping jacks. When it beeps again, we're going to come back to walking. But my friends, there will be things in your life that you need to endure. Being in your own brain is one of those things. But also in the world, there are things that we need to endure. When I first became a fitness trainer, the thing that I remember learning first is that endurance is foundational to your fitness. Learning how to endure is the thing you need to learn how to do first. When it beeps again, we're doing upside down jacks, which means that we're going to start with our hands straight up and our body straight up. And as our hands come down into that jumping jack, we're taking a big step out to one side and then a big step out to the other side. And you are really transferring, you're shifting your weight. It is a full step out, which is what makes this kind of difficult to recover from. That's where actually the work of this is. And then when it beeps again, we're doing low swinging tappers, which means that your feet are tapping from side to side and your hands are swinging low, meaning that they're not going over your head like rainbow jacks, but they're certainly going to come up relatively high. Here we are with low swinging tappers. Nice job. But thinking about endurance work as being foundational, it means that this is where we start with fitness. We start with endurance work, which happens to be amazingly good, not just for your brain, which is the benefit that I notice, but it's great for your heart. When you can teach your heart how to beat at an elevated rate. And here we go, we're coming back to walking. Apologize for not warning you on that one. I was thinking about heart health and how important this kind of work is. When you can teach your heart to beat at an elevated rate for a sustained amount of time, it gets better and more efficient at beating all the time. When it beeps again, we're doing toy soldiers, which means that we're going to have our hands up overhead. We're going to reach our opposite hand down towards our opposite kicking foot. When you can teach your body to get more efficient at things, which is what we do when we're exercising, we're asking our body to do some work, and then in response to that, your body says, hey, that was work, I didn't like that. I'm going to get better at it. So the next time, it's easier. When it beeps again, we're doing curtsy jacks. If you would prefer not to do a curtsy lunge, you can absolutely do any kind of a kick that feels good to you. Hands are doing jumping jacks. No matter what you're doing with your legs, you help yourself to whatever feels best to you. When your hands are down, you're down in a curtsy. When your hands are up, you're standing up. When it beeps again, we're going to come back to walking. So when you teach your heart to beat at an elevated rate, it actually gets more efficient at beating all the time, which means that you could lower your resting heart rate because your heart will be so efficient. This kind of endurance work, here we go back to walking, makes your heart healthier all the time because of a little bit, relatively speaking, a little bit of work that we do over, again, relatively speaking, long period of time that for our purposes isn't very long. When it beeps again, we're doing cheerleader kicks, which means that we're starting with our hands at our shoulders and our elbows out really wide. Elbows stay at shoulder height the entire time. Hands are going to go up and down like a cheerleader while we're kicking forward. I love this one. I was not a cheerleader. Not even thought about being a cheerleader because I am not very coordinated, but this one feels especially fun to me. When it beeps again, we're doing ding dongs, which is we're kicking one foot at a time off to the side while our hands, once again, are swinging low, which only means that they're not swinging overhead. They're actually going to get up pretty high. So swinging to one side, swinging to the other, knocking yourself out of balance a little bit, and having a really good time while we are enduring. You guys, when it beeps again, we're going to come back to that walking motion, bringing our heart rate up and down a little bit through endurance work like this. There's going to be a bit of natural variation anyways. I mean, just from exercise to exercise, I'm sure you've noticed some of these exercises are just easier than others, and some of them do require a little bit more effort. So here we go back to walking. I interspersed plenty of walking for us today so that we can bring our heart rate down a little bit. I know that some of the low impact exercises get my heart rate up a little too high for what personally I would consider both A, moderate, and B, endurance level work. When it beeps again, we're doing forward hinge arm flappers, which means that we're gonna have our feet about hip width apart. We're gonna hinge forward while we're flapping our hands. I'm gonna show you from the side so that you can see that my hips are pushing back and then pulling forward. And I came all the way over here off to the edge of the screen because when it beeps again, we're going directly into push, push, crunch. And I knew that I needed a little bit of extra space here to be able to push to the side, and then swing those hands up and over and into a crunch. It is another lateral move. While we are doing our endurance work today, working on some excellent heart health, my friend, push, push, and crunch. We're also, like always, anytime we move our body, we are toning our body. This lateral motion really helps all of our joints, all of our muscles work through their full range of motion in every plane of motion. When it beeps again, gonna come back to that walking, doing such a good job thinking about your heart rate. How do you feel right now? This should, I'll say that word lightly, we go back to walking. This should feel very doable. If it feels like you are really panting, like you are really working hard, take it on down a notch, my friend. Endurance work is not meant to come out of the gate hard and go hard the whole time. Endurance work is meant to feel like something that you could literally do all day long forever. When it beeps again, we are doing, where am I? We're doing half jacks. I had to write, here we go, half of a jumping jack on one side, half of a jumping jack on the other side. Because of the no repeat today, my whiteboard is so full and I started getting really tiny writing right about here in the workout because I knew that we have just a couple more exercises left. When it beeps again, we're gonna do alley-oops, which means that we're gonna have our feet wider than hip width for sure. We're gonna swoop down to one side and then swoop up and over across our heads like a rainbow to come down into a bit of a lunge on the other. If you don't wanna lunge, don't lunge. Having your hands moving up and over is plenty. If you'd like to, you can get a full bend in your knee, up and over, swooping up and over, pivoting back foot, which always makes me think of Ross during Friends when they were moving. Pivot, pivot. My friends, the other way that endurance work is so important, when it beeps again, by the way, we're coming back to our walk. The other reason that endurance work is so important mentally is because this is really a skill that you can put out into the rest of your life. You know, when we're talking about eating the right number of calories every day in order to lose weight, when it beeps again, by the way, we're doing butter churns, which means that when our hands are up, one foot is out. Your hands are going to go up and down directly in front of your body, bringing your hands to your chin and then down below. When your hands are up, one foot is out to one side. So we kick and we kick. Nope, I think it's the other way around. You know what? Doesn't matter. I talked myself into doing it this way. There's no repeating today. There's no way to do this wrong. But I will tell you that in other videos, I do butter churns differently. When it beeps again, we're doing skiers. Your hands are going to go up and down in front of your body, in front of you, while your feet shuffle back and forth underneath you. Oh my goodness. But here's the thing about endurance work, you guys. When you are thinking about, here we go with skiers, when you are thinking about, oh, I have to eat the right number of calories, and I have to drink the right amount of water, and I have to sleep the same way every night, and I have to exercise moderately every day, and I have to manage my mind. When it beeps again, by the way, we're going to be walking, and it's our last walking interval. My friend, let me tell you, weight loss is endurance work. Weight loss is gonna be here for you as long as you want it to be, as long as you need it to be. Do not come out of the gate, here we come back to walking, feeling like you have to do it all perfectly. Do what you can. Take it at a pace that you can sustain. Do the things that you know that you can do. When it beeps again, we're done, but we're not quite finished. We've got one more thing. It's our finisher. We're going to do a front kick, back kick. This is balance work, which is going to be hard because we've got our heart rate up. I'm going to stand on my left leg first, and it's exactly what it sounds like. We're going to kick to the front. We're going to kick to the back. If you'd like something to hang on to, please do. We're practicing our balance. This move can be incredibly slow. Well, it's supposed to be incredibly slow because that's how we pull in our core and really think about our balance. But it can also be incredibly small. That was actually the word that I was trying to say. You don't have to kick hugely forward. We're not trying to kick with power. We're not trying to knock somebody over. It's a small movement where we're simply thinking about finding our center of gravity, pulling in your core, squeezing from your abs and your glutes, which is your butt. And then we're going to switch sides, front kick and back kick. Awesome job, my friends. You have plenty to do on this journey. There are lots of exercises. There are lots of things on your whiteboard right now while you are trying to lose weight. Don't worry about the tiny writing right now. Do what you can right now and focus on getting better as we continue to endure. My friends, that was everything. Let's cool this down. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that felt so good. Let's go ahead and do some arm circles. There is never a point on your weight loss journey where you have to be going at full steam ahead. Ever. Like truly, ever. This is always endurance work, and you are always in control of how much or how little you do. Keep it moderate. Keep it simple. Keep it within your control. Keep it feeling like you could continue. When you try to do too many things, when you try to eat perfectly healthy in the exact right amount and manage your mind and do all of the things right out of the gate, sometimes that can feel super overwhelming, and then you can't sustain it. Find your footing and figure out what you can sustain. Maybe right now that means that you're just exercising. And I say just, I mean, that's my favorite part. But maybe you're doing some of the things. Then, my friend, that's the pace that you can sustain right now. Keep it up. When your heart is ready, you'll be ready for more. Let's go ahead and open it up. Oh my gosh, what a good job you did today. And then close it up. Give yourself a hug and a pat on your sweaty back. Oh my goodness. You endured what was hopefully a really fun workout today. I mean, that really is the other part of the metaphor. Make sure it's fun. Whatever you need to endure, make sure that you are enjoying it while you are enduring it so that you can keep it up. My friends, I'm so proud of you, so happy for you, and so thankful that you are here. Make sure you click that subscribe button. I do have on screen for you here. I've got the extended cool down, and I've got the everything you need to know about weight loss, and I will see you tomorrow.